Hey, and today I want to elaborate Jesus' sacrifice. First, I'm a non-believer. I don't think that there is a God or that there is likely is a God. If there is a God, I certainly don't think he should crucify his son or his daughter. Um, it's too much like Kronos from the Greek mythology, and it's not loving. But I want to elaborate what Jesus' sacrifice would have been if there would have been a God. I think. First, I didn't come up with this explanation totally by myself. I watched the video of a rabbi, and he inspired me to this philosophy of Jesus' sacrifice. I had the same idea around the time before I watched the video, or a little bit before that, even though the video is very old. Um, so it's kind of coincidence, but still, he helped me at least form out the idea a little bit more. So what's Jesus' sacrifice? Jesus' sacrifice is Jesus comes to earth. He bears all the sins of all men, as said in the Bible. He dies on the cross, and therefore he brings salvation, and all the sins of all men are forgiven. Which sounds ridiculous if you really think about it. It's a sacrifice of an innocent person, and really doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's not how sins are forgiven. Murder is not forgiven by murder. So, what is the sacrifice? How is this even explainable in some sort of rational way? I think it's that Jesus comes from a perfect place. So, metaphorically, he dies for all humanity. Of course, Jesus in the story dies in the end and gets resurrected, but it's not the point to die metaphorically as a human sacrifice. The salvation is brought through knowledge of love and peace, just like a little bit Satan brings knowledge, just that Jesus is the opposite good of knowledge. Um, and the death of Jesus is foreseen but not planned. It's still murder. All the people that sacrifice Jesus are not forgiven their sins. So it's not really about forgiving these people their sins through the sacrifice, because that's still regarded as a murder. So, what is exactly the sacrifice? If Jesus just metaphorically dies for all humanity, then the sacrifice is to go into a place that's full of sin and metaphorically bearing all sin. So, when there comes a perfect being from a perfect place that is, yeah, totally incoherent with himself and in peace with himself, then by going into a world that is full of people that are incoherent with themselves and are not at peace with themselves, are fighting wars, etc. Then that is bearing a sin for the sake of knowledge. It's an end to a goal, and a means to an end. I mean, and this means of the end means bearing all sin metaphorically. The idea is to show love and peace further through God's divine revelation of his power. So the basic idea is God is all powerful, but now there's Jesus, and Jesus is kind of all powerful as well. He can walk on water, he can make water and turn water into wine, he can make fishes appear and all this stuff. So God is certainly regarding Jesus as equal, even though in the end Jesus dies, gets resurrected though. God is not seeing Jesus as some threat or someone that is, even if he would be a threat in some way, is supposed to be eliminated, like Kronos eliminates his children. No, it's more like Jesus is regarded as an equal to God. And Jesus, in turn, this is not supposed to be intern like an internship, this is supposed to be an intern, sees himself equal to all humanity. When Jesus goes to humanity, he says that everyone is basically equal. That's his message. So the basic message is, therefore, God and humanity are equal in a sense. Even though, of course, humanity seems to be not able to just make things appear from nothing. So, that's basically my explanation of the sacrifice. Now to the disclaimer, I didn't totally come up with the answer myself. As I said, I watched a video from a rabbi, and this video is this link. I will link it down in the description. It's very interesting. It's about Adam and Eve and how Adam and Eve decide to purposely eat from the tree of knowledge to go into a lesser world where they can fix the world. So we definitely have a parallel between Adam and Jesus, just that Jesus displays God's love through the divine power of God, and therefore an equality between God, and because Jesus doesn't hurt anyone, an equality between humanity and Jesus. So that's basically it. I'm still not a believer. I still think it's a dumb theory. Sorry, but that's my explanation of it. So yeah, have a good day.